This is Countdown to Economic Collapse, March 20th, 2011. I'm David John Sponheim, running for president in 2012. This past week has been a very sad week for many people in Japan and throughout the world. A week of concern over the troubling situation at the reactor at Fukushima, the possibility of a nuclear meltdown lingering in the minds of all of us. Meanwhile, Barack Obama is picking March Madness picks for the NCAA and planning trips and vacations. You see the problem here. We have a president who is completely disengaged. Remember General McChrystal, who said he was disengaged in the war in Afghanistan? Well, he waited about 11 or 12 days to make a decision on Gaddafi, and backing the UN resolution to have a no-fly zone is actually destabilizing the Middle East and protecting Gaddafi's troops and his tanks. Hear me out. Waiting 11 days gave Gaddafi the position near cities where innocent civilians are located to position his tanks. What we are doing now is creating a destabilized Middle East scenario. It went from Egypt, it went on to Tunisia, Bahrain, Yemen, and now Libya. And Barack Obama is essentially doing whatever the UN wants him to do, because the UN is essentially the mouthpiece for the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, and they are driving this entire situation. My prediction is that oil is running out in Saudi Arabia, and the oil-backed nations are beginning to think, well, they need more territories, so they're moving on areas that are weak, areas that aren't part of the central bank system of the IMF. Now remember, we have a central bank. Our leaders never wanted us to have a central bank, but we have one, the Federal Reserve Corporation. Not a part of the United States government, but acting on its own. And like any central bank, they want to control everything. Well, Libya isn't part of that. Neither is Syria, Yemen, Iran, or Venezuela, or any other nation that defies them. So they are going to wage war, and guess who they're going to use to wage that war? Us, the military arm of the World Bank. This is the obvious move of a new world order structure, where Barack Obama is merely a puppet doing whatever they tell him to do. Now, Gaddafi sees Barack Obama as like a son to him. He loves him like a son. So it's going to be very difficult for Barack Obama to turn against Gaddafi and continue any kind of effort at détente with the UN. So he's walking the middle line and he's obviously caving in to the UN. We need to protect our oil interests. The destabilization of the Middle East is causing all of our gas prices to go up. That is central to this economic meltdown. And as our economy continues to unwind, we see rising food prices, the highest in 37 years last month, a 4% increase in our food. So that's just untenable for any of us to continue living normally, and especially in a time that they're claiming is a recovery. I predict this is a recover-up, where our nation is covering up all the details of a depression that's looming, that's continuing to hit everybody in the pocketbook at home. Many of you are still losing your homes. Many of you are still looking for a job. 14 million people still unemployed. And they're painting Barack Obama out to be a guy who's handling it with 0% inflation. This is the exact opposite of what's happening. We are being lied to. We are being manipulated. Our country is being used as the 9/11 to the world. And we need to start realizing we need to shore up our borders, get back to our own country's service economy and retail sector, and grow from within. We're not going to grow by doing the bidding of military actions around the world. That's not going to help our nation. More men and women are going to die in foreign encounters with enemies, and we're not going to be able to get out of this. It's yet another Vietnam forming, yet another Iraq forming, yet another Afghanistan forming, so Obama is just going along with it. If you're a liberal and you'd never wanted any more war, you'd want to vote for me. You want to get our troops home. If you're a fiscal conservative and want to see the budget under control, you want to vote for me in 2012. I will get this country back on an even keel. We will begin to get a rudder to this economy. We are dealing right now with a rudderless economy, a leaderless nation, and a country that's completely at our wits' end dealing with world crises by talking to a guy who plays golf and one-on-one basketball. So we have to get back to reality here. And I urge you to continue to think about voting third party. Tell your friends about ATP, about our weekday nightly show on Blog TV at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm David John Sponheim for America's Third Party. Keep the faith.